Welcome back to another video, and I'm actually leaving Vegas today, and I decided to make a stop at the outlets before I go back home. I've always wanted to stop at the outlets in Primm, but I never got around to it until today. So let's find out what the outlets are all about. Before heading over to the outlets, I'm gonna be making a stop at the Primm Valley Resort and Casino because I still have $80 in my pocket left to spend. Every time I come to Vegas, I do make like a little budget. Like this time that I came, I said, you know what? I got $300 to gamble. If I win or if I lose it all, like who cares, right? Like this is money that I budgeted for, like to gamble, right? Like it's just money that I'm gonna pretend I don't have anymore, right? So it's $300, and I always put a limit because once I get hooked, and then I start bringing out money that I shouldn't, right? But here goes the bro. He sat down at a machine, and the machine was paying out, you guys. I don't know, but my bro, he has some good luck with the slot machines. It seems like anywhere he sits, like he's always winning money, right? So right here, you guys can see he already has $31. I think he ended up walking away with like 150 bucks. So making a stop here was really good for him. And over here is the Prizm Outlets. This is the name of the outlets in Primm, and they have a list right here of all the stores that are in the outlets, right? So if you decide to make a stop at the Prizm Outlets, you can park at the casino, play a little bit, and just walk over to the other side where the outlets are at because they are connected. So that is pretty cool. You don't have to walk that far to get to the outlets, right? But I'm not gonna lie, you guys, look at this place. This right here is technically considered the start of the outlets, and it kind of looks like a ghost town. Like it almost looks like some zombies are about to come out and like attack you, right? This almost reminds me, you guys remember that video game? It was called, I think, Dead Rising, and it was for the Xbox 360, and it was basically about a guy who was like trapped in a mall, and like there was a bunch of zombies, right? This is basically what that reminds me of, because like it's dead, you guys. Look at the stores on the side. There's nothing here. Like the best thing that I found was this little train that you could play with, and I decided to play because I was like, you know what, I gotta make the best of this trip. And I decided to play in this little machine right here, and you basically got to control the train, the lights, all these other things, and it was pretty neat. I believe it was like $2 or $3, so I was like, why not play? You know, it gave you like 3 minutes of game time, so I thought that was pretty good, you know. So right here, you press the buttons, and every button does something different. Like that one right there turns on the helicopter, and then we have the train coming, and over here we got, it's supposed to be like the Hollywood sign right there because it has the letters. There's so much detail in this little construction right here. You could also move the things right there so that the cars don't pass. There goes, looks like somebody crashed into the palm tree and the cop came to give him a ticket. Over there looks like they're filming something, and of course there has to be an In-N-Out here because we are in California almost. Over here looks like they're filming a movie right there. It's like they're backstage in Hollywood, right? So I did think this was pretty cool. The kids are gonna love it. Hey, I'm an adult and I had a ton of fun, right? But we're moving on with the outlets tour right here, and we finally ran into some stores that were open. They sold like little treats and stuff, but I mean that was pretty much it. I mean, if you look around, like it's just really us, and this is kind of sad. And there goes the Michael Kors store. We did find it open, you guys, and I went inside with my mom and the family, but I don't know if anything was really on sale. I mean, it looked like it was stuff that they couldn't sell in the stores, and they just brought it right here like, hey, if you guys can sell it, right? There was also a store right there I sold Vegas things, and this hand-me-down store. So this is the first time I come to the outlets right here in Primm, but honestly it's empty. Like I don't know if it's always been like this or maybe because of COVID, but like every single store, like look at this, every single place that was a store, like these things right here, this was a store, that was a store, that was a store, and like they just put like art in front of it, that was a store. Like right here, the outlets, they're empty. There is not a lot of stores here. I'm gonna count how many there are, but so far since I came in, I only see 3 stores open, and that's the Michael Kors, the Viva Vegas one, and this thrift shop over here. But that's 3 stores out of like 20 spots that are open, so that's kind of sad. Malls are dying because everyone is shopping online, or maybe it's because people just don't stop at Primm. Let's be honest. The reality though is that I don't think a lot of people stop in Primm. I mean, I've been wanting to make a stop here for many years, and this is the first time I ever come to the outlets. And I think it's because that when you're going to Vegas, like you don't really want to make a stop at the mall. Like you kind of just want to get to Vegas already because that's what the exciting part is, right? And then when you're going back home to LA, Like, I mean, you just want to go home already. Like, your vacations are done. Let's just get on the freeway and go back home, right? So it's understandable why people don't stop at Primm. It was on my bucket list for many years, and I never stopped here. So I could say I'm also part of the reasons why Primm died, right? The outlets died because I never made a stop, so of course other people didn't. But we had the Tommy Hilfiger store right here. We had the Bath and Body Works store. It seems like just a couple of like the big like retail chains were open, and maybe it's because they can actually afford to stay open and like the other businesses just couldn't. And honestly, it makes me kind of sad to see the mall like this, because I guess in my generation we went to the mall a lot, right? Like the 90s kids. Like I remember going to the Crenshaw Mall almost every weekend, and it was nice because it was packed and there was a bunch of stores. So for me, a person that grew up shopping in malls, seeing this is just sad. Like everything is closed. There's not even stores here. And I was telling you guys that there was just big retail stores, and I'm not gonna lie, you guys, I don't know if I really saw anything like for a big discount. Like I guess I imagined outlets to be cheaper than like retail stores, but like I couldn't really find that many things that were on sale. Like the things that were on sale were things that like nobody wanted, so like they had them on sale, right? So if you wanted to get those good like clearance deals, you really had to go through all the racks to find it, right? And my bro right here, he found the clearance section where everything was 70% off, and this was probably the only part of the store that was actually on sale where you could get a nice shirt for like 10 bucks, right? So you really have to try hard to find those good deals. But this is the outside part of the Prizm Mall, or the outlets actually. And I mean, I don't know, even the parking lot, I mean, it looks kind of dead, right? They do have Carl's Jr., they got some fast food chains, but I mean, that's pretty much it, right? And then we got hungry and we found this Mexican restaurant right here. It was called Mexican Grill, and we wanted to come eat at, because at this point we were probably here for about 2 or 3 hours, because we did go to the casino to gamble, and then we literally went to almost every store that was open in the outlets, because honestly we were trying to look for the deals, right? Because it was my understanding that outlets were a place where you got cheap things, right? Cheaper than retail. But I don't know, unfortunately I didn't think that was the case. But you know, one thing I do want to tell you guys about this restaurant was that on the outside it did smell like sewer. So before coming into this restaurant, I was a little iffy about eating here. But I mean, the family was like, let's go inside, let's check it out, let's give it a chance. And once we went inside and we sat in the back, you couldn't smell it anymore, right? But the menu had a big variety. If you happen to stop at the outlets, this is actually not a bad place to eat at. I mean, just get over the smell, sit in the back, and you'll be fine, you know, because the food was actually pretty good. I do like all the decorations, you guys. I mean, at the end of the day, this is someone's business. Someone put this here with the hopes of thriving and making money, I mean, right, to survive and be able to feed their family. So we did want to give this place a shot. We were hungry on top of that, and we did want Mexican food. I mean, nobody was really in the mood for like Carl's Jr., Taco Bell, or anything that was outside that's like considered fast food. But the restaurant is nicely decorated, you guys. I mean, unfortunately, people just pass this place because nobody stops at Primm. But the restaurant is actually really nice on the inside. Like, you could tell that people, or whoever the owner is, like actually wants this place to succeed, right? So I ended up ordering some tacos right here. I ordered un taco de pastor, un taco de cabeza, un taco de pollo, because I wanted to try a little bit of everything just to kind of get a feel for it. And the tacos were very good. Look at the tortilla, you guys. The tortilla was so soft, and that was really my favorite thing, right? My family also ordered some quesadillas, una torta. Like, it was like a little buffet right here, because everyone ordered a little bit of everything, right? So the torta was actually really good. Like, take a look at it. It looks really soft. El pan estaba blandito, and it was pretty good to eat here. On Yelp, the Prizm Outlets has 3 stars with 288 reviews, and I think we all know why this place has 3 stars. It's probably because there's only like 8 big retail stores that are open, and like everything else is closed down, right? So like the vacancy rate here is probably like 90%, right? Which sucks, because I mean, there's lots of opportunity here, but again, how do you get people to stop at Primm when they're just trying to go to Vegas already, or they're trying to go back home already? I mean, they're in a tough spot, right? If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that delicious like button down below. And also make sure to subscribe. I post new videos every single week showing you guys what I'm up to. I don't usually do videos in Vegas because I live in LA, but I do occasionally do videos in Vegas because I do come over here often. And I would love to hear about anybody's story. Have you ever came to the outlets? If you have, let me know what your experience was. Was it different than mine? I'm always curious to know what other experience when they go to places that I go to too. Just to see if we experience similar things or differences. Leave it in the comments down below. I try to respond to every single comment that I can, so make sure you leave one down below. This was Fox Checks, and I think you guys know what I'm gonna say about the Prizm outlets.